But we begin tonight's program by addressing the undressing that the Lions got in Green Bay. Plenty of questions surrounding the Lions heading into the season opener. New coordinators, 13 injured players returning to action. Head coach Dan Campbell maintained that Detroit would be just fine and that the Lions would be ready. But as we all saw on Sunday, none of that rang true. To Lambeau Field we go. The Packers got the ball first and drove it right down the field. The Lions' pass rush was non-existent, and on 3rd and 9, Jordan Love found Tucker Kraft for a 15-yard touchdown and a quick 7-0 Green Bay lead. Meanwhile, the Lions offense finally got something going in the second quarter. Jared Goff with a big 3rd down throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown to get them inside the 20, but they had to settle for a Jake Bates 30-yard field goal. That made it 10-3 Packers, but Green Bay answered in a flash. First, Love firing deep down the middle, and there's Romeo Doubs beating Terrion Arnold for a gain of 48. And on the next play, it's Love picking on Arnold again. This time, Jaden Reed hauls it in for the score, and just like that, it was 17-3 Packers. Now the Lions moved the ball to the Green Bay 16 late in the half. However, on 3rd down, Goff looking for St. Brown when Evan Williams stepped in front for the interception. What a rough first half for Detroit as they trailed 17-3 at the break. Third quarter, the Lions again moved the ball. Goff hooking up with Sam Laporta for a big gain of 32 yards. Detroit in field goal range, but once again, the drive stalled in the red zone, and the Lions were forced to settle for a Bates 27-yard field goal to cut the lead to 11. Then we saw signs of life from the Lions defense. On 3rd and 1, Derek Barnes with a huge stop of Josh Jacobs, forcing a punt and getting the ball back for the offense. But again, the Lions could not do anything with it. Jared Goff swarmed on 3rd down, and the sack forced a punt. Take you late into the third. Packers on 3rd down, Love firing, and he's intercepted by Brian Branch. That would have been a big play that the Lions needed, but Rock Yassin was called for holding, giving Green Bay a 1st down. In the 4th quarter, Lions backed up at their own 8. Here comes the Packers rush again. Goff barely avoiding a safety. He was sacked 4 times in this game, and with Detroit unable to get any offensive flow, the Packers put this one away on their next drive. Josh Jacobs taking it in from 3 yards out. The Lions defense did some good things, but the offense was mostly a no-show, although congrats to rookie Isaac Tesla, who made this amazing catch in the final minutes for his first career reception and touchdown. But it was a rough opening day for the Lions as the Packers take this one 27-13. Jennifer Hammond has the wrap from Lambeau Field.
It's been a while since the Lions have been dominated so completely, but the simple fact is the Packers executed their game plan to perfection while Detroit fell woefully short. But after the game, Dan Campbell put it best when he said, "It's not what it appears to be."
And they came out and they played outstanding, and we didn't play good enough. We didn't coach good enough, including me, and we didn't play good enough. It gives us a little barometer where we're at, game 1, and that's okay. You know, it's always about improving no matter what, so we're going to take it, and we're going to improve.
You know, it's frustrating. You know, we got to get points. That's the main thing. One of the main reasons we lost, we didn't score a lot of points. We didn't score enough points. So, you know, we're gonna correct it, though. We're going to get back in the lab tomorrow, tonight, watch the film, and whatever we got to do, you know, come back next week at home. And can't lose at home.
We moved the ball at times. We got down to the red zone and shot ourselves in the foot. I mean, but, yeah, we got to come out and run the ball better, be more physical up front, have better communication, and get to our spots.
Detroit's struggles began at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and for that, there will be plenty of questions about the new coordinators. But Campbell knows that changes like these come with growing pains, and he's not the kind of guy who panics after just one loss.
In 22, we remember we started 1-6. I mean, I think people were asking me to fire Ben 1-6. You know, so look, it took us a while to get our feet, man. So to get our bearing, but you learn every time you go through these and you work together and you find the right flow and you do it collectively, you do it together.
Anytime you're with a coordinator for the first year, it's the first year of a coordinator, and that doesn't mean that we can't be great right now. We should be great right now. But there are hurdles, obviously, that you're going to have to face and get over and improve on. And I think that's where the urgency to improve on some of those things from us needs to be there. And I intend to lead that.
I know we got a good history of responding, and we got another divisional, I believe, next week. So it's I think it's going to be good for us. It's good to, you know, there's a lot of expectation this year. Come in, lose like that, I'm sure people will be really down on us, and that's where we thrive. You know, when everyone doesn't believe in us anymore, I'm sure people are, you know, I'm sure everyone's going to be talking. But I think what we do really well is when this adversity hits, we put the blinders on, we go.
As for cornerback Terrion Arnold, he said that he tweaked his groin on the Packers' second drive of the game and tried to play through it as long as he could. He will have an MRI on Monday, and hopefully it's nothing serious. At Lambeau Field, Jennifer Hammond, Fox 2 Sports.
Thanks a lot, Hammer. That brings us to the roundtable. For official introductions, joining me tonight is my pal John Neal of the Detroit News and my main man, Pat Caputo. Pat can be found on 97.1 The Ticket. All right, guys, let's talk about this Lions loss today to the Packers, and we'll start right with the O-line and the struggles that there were there. Pat, almost every run for the Lions had a guy getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. It wasn't good.
Well, everything was bad about their offense. No timing. You sit back in the pocket and look around with Jared Goff, and he's going to get sacked. You have to get the ball out quick. There were no timing routes that were prevalent the previous offensive coordinator. And, when you have to get the compulsory run in there to try to get the run game going, it was just an awful effort. And the middle of the offensive line was frankly terrible.
John, you heard the comments there. Urgency needs to be there from Goff. I mean, they didn't have it today. Obviously, it needs to come back next week. And in that run game, Pat mentioned that a little bit. I thought that we would see Gibbs and Montgomery at the same time in the backfield and maybe give it a new wrinkle. And we didn't see any new wrinkles.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised at the sort of lack of creativity from the offense from John Morton, first time out as the new coordinator there. But like Pat said, a lot of things start to look bad when that dominant offensive line that you were used to the last couple of years in particular just wasn't there, especially right in Goff's face. But no, I think there was definitely some miscommunication there a couple times, but they were getting swallowed up. They were getting pushed back into that backfield. And look, that's not the way Jared Goff and that offense is operated. That's
true. I have to give the Packers a little credit with how they used Micah Parsons today. Yep. I mean, they kind of moved him all around, and he was one-on-one with a lot of guys. I mean, Mahogany, Ratledge, those guys. And on the end, and he got to Goff one time in this game, Pat.
Well, yeah, their pass rush was pretty good, but part of it is when you have somebody that's creeping up on you like that, you have to make them pay for it.
Right.
And you got to get the ball out quick. Yep. They didn't get the ball out quick. One of their strengths has been three-step drop, ball into somebody's hands. They didn't take advantage of their weapons. Laporta, where was he? Gibbs, they tried these bad passes to him that weren't going to work. They just had no creativity, nothing to counteract the pressure. What you do when you get that is you counteract that and make them pay for that pressure. The Lions have been good at that. Did you see bootleg rollouts?
No, I did not.
Did you see play action?
No,
Last year they play action more than they just didn't do what their strength was, and it was a bad offensive performance today. Bad.
What about the defense, John, and what we saw? I mean, I thought we would see more from the secondary, and that was sometimes suspect as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we saw a couple of those highlights. Terrion got beat a couple of times. Now, you don't know how much, like he said, he was
injured. Right.
At some point on a couple of those. But no, when you don't have a pass rush, those things are going to happen. There was definitely quite a few times you heard Tony Romo on the broadcast talking about, that should have been a coverage sack, and it wasn't. Hutch is getting chipped or nudged or whatever and double teamed sometimes, but where's the rest of the pass rush? That's what everybody's fear was coming to this season, right?
Right.
Well, you saw it today.
And it made Jordan Love look great. I mean, 16 of 22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. The QBR was 128.6. I mean, he was hitting 10 different receivers. It looked easy, and I don't like to use that word when we talk about the NFL because nothing is easy.
How many points did they give up today?
It looked easy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the defense's fault.
No, the defense gave up no points. You're correct.
And the other part, the defense wasn't good. And everything that everybody feared about the Lions, their offensive line, I'm going to take call after call. We're going to get the pass rush. Pass rush wasn't as good, but the Lions last year brought 6 players, more than any other NFL team. They brought 6 players. Today, when they brought pressure, they picked up every blitz.
Yeah.
And, every time whatever they were doing, Green Bay guessed right or had it figured out. It wasn't very good. It was almost as if Connor Stallions was on the sidelines for the. I'm kidding. I kid.
Now you're going to get called on that. Look, and then look, they hung in there. That defense, I'd say, especially in the after halftime, did probably make some adjustments. Those blitzes were getting picked up on those for early touchdown drives. The other thing, like Jordan Love's going to give you a gift or two every game. That's his Achilles heel. He gave him one. Alex Anzalone didn't catch it. Brian Branch did make a great diving
But a
interception, but a penalty takes
Right.
it back. Those are the things that when you're on the road against a really good team, you can't make those kind of mistakes. They made those mistakes.
You know, we've talked about the new coordinators coming in and all that. Are we seeing the formation of the new identity that the Lions are going to have this year? You talked about creativity. Are we also going to have to see an increase in maybe rhythm and pacing for this team on both sides of the ball as we go?
Rhythm and pacing, playing fast, you know, looking assured of yourself, knowing what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it. Having a plan that actually counteracts what the opposition's doing, adjusting to things in game. I thought defensively they adjusted better than they did offensively to what the circumstances were in the game. But that, look, they have to run the football. And they, you know, look, everything they do offensively and defensively is predicated on running the football. It sets up the pass. It helps their defense. You know, today, running the football was pathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a bad running game. So whatever fixes they have to make in there should be well. And there's no excuse for it because their best run interior defender plays for Dallas now. Okay, so, you know, they really should have taken advantage of that today. They played with no inspiration. There was no fire. So this is a team that's going to have to get back to what it is emotionally. That wasn't an emotional, hard-charging
like
game.
it when Brian Branch took off the guy's helmet.
Oh, did they did not play fast. They did not play fierce.
No, the offense has to set the tone.
And we'll definitely need to see more of that. All right, guys, I got to leave it there. Let's